Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. It is Binky here today with Zoologist. We're doing it again. We are past the halfway point, I'm pretty sure, and that is exciting. So we're going to pick two new scents, well, one scent. Here they are. Is there one inside of that one? No. So the here and here. I'm feeling this one. It just feels good. Civet versus Seahorse. Ooh, okay. So Seahorse, oh, it's kind of falling out. That's very weird. Okay, so this is Seahorse, and it keeps dropping out for some reason. There you go. Very cool. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at the notes, and then we're going to jump into it. Okay, so this one's kind of unique. It's actually, and it is, a bluish color, like a teal. Very interesting. Kind of looks like Caesar. I think it's supposed to. Anyway, so a balmy sunlight trips across foamy turquoise waves, sending rippling halos onto the coral below. Zoologist Seahorse invites you to wade through a vibrant coral garden. Okay. Tuberose, seaweed, sage, neroli, fennel, and vetiver. Love saying that one. Okay, so this one is, the top notes are Guatemala, cardamom, fennel, ambrette absolute, heart notes, clary sage, tuberose, neroli, base notes, algae absolute, vetiver, ambergris, accord. So there's not a lot of notes. Interesting. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's only 9. Which is interesting because usually for zoologists there's like 17 to 19. So this one seems rather simple, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't mean that in a bad way. But some of the accords, like algae, which you would expect for something like this, is going to be interesting. This is what it looks like. That nice blue. Let's see what it smells like. I imagine it's going to be very ocean. Can't smell anything. Let's test this out. Okay, there we go. And maybe I'll do it on the sleeve just because it's just easier to smell it this way. My hair's in the way. So much hair. Okay. Ooh. So it's very fresh, flowery ocean. Oh, I definitely get that the ocean scent. It's very fresh. Okay, it's just very floral. More floral than I expected it to be. I thought it would be more oceanic, but I definitely am getting the neroli. Definitely getting that. I'm getting a saltiness to it. I'm not getting cardamom. Not really getting too, well, a little fennel. I mean, fennel does have a specific scent, but it's very light. So getting the neroli and the tuberose coming through, but the neroli really comes forward more than the rose. Not getting the sage. Interesting. So it's a lot more floral than I expected it to be. I thought it would be a lot more ocean, and I'm not getting that. It's very floral forward with a hint of something oceanic. It's almost like a seaweed accord, which is probably the algae, which makes sense. Ooh, way different on the shirt. So I'm picking up the floral more. This is not. This is picking up a whole different thing. Way spicier here. No floral, mostly spicy. Yeah, that's interesting. So really, your chemistry is always going to play very differently to every scent. What's weird about this is that I can't necessarily pull out the different notes that easily, especially on the sleeve. It smells almost lemony. It has like a lemony spiciness to it. And there's no lemon in here, but it's very lemon and spicy, which is probably the cardamom versus on my skin where it's very floral with this kind of seaweed scent to it. This seaweed is accord, which works for the ocean. I just don't know where the floral comes into play. It's nice, but I mean, I don't know if I get Seahorse from this, only because, again, the floral. It could be just my chemistry though. Yeah, it's getting, it's sweet, but there's that bitterness in it. That bitterness kind of, it's not a fishy scent, it's ocean scent. But it's not like the crisp, clean ocean scent. It's definitely ocean floor, seaweed. and that's, I mean, hey, Seahorse, I get it. And here it's very lemony. Lemony with cardamom. Lemon and cardamom, but there's no lemon in here. Ooh. It's not bad, it's just very sharp. So it's very sharp on the sleeve. It's that cardamom and a lemon-esque kind of scent. And just the sharpness. Well, here it's a lot softer. It's the flowers with seaweed. Very interesting. Yeah, I'm curious to see where this morphs to. It's like I said, it doesn't really represent Seahorse to me for whatever reason. I really don't get that. But that's okay, because it may morph like they do. But right now I'm just kind of like, It's like a floral ocean. Okay, so what we'll do is we will revisit this again in an hour and see where it takes us. Okay, so it's been about an hour and we're going to check in on this. This is a little bit of a lighter scent, so this isn't a powerhouse, but it's still really lovely. So, ooh, on my wrist, it still smells very floral with a little bit of that brininess of the ocean. So it's kind of like there's exotic flowers or beautiful flowers around an ocean, and the wind is kicking it with the brininess of like seaweed. So that's definitely there. It's very pretty, even with the brininess that I don't normally care for in scents. This is really, really pretty. I like the way it plays on my chemistry. It's actually like this floral briny, well, like ocean florals. It is beautiful. Not as strong as I would like it to be. But that's okay. It's really a refreshing scent, even with the floral and the brininess. It's very interesting. So on the sleeve, on the sleeve, it actually finally morphed to something else. Definitely floral. Definitely floral. The neroli and the... I don't really get the rose so much. So it also has a brininess to it, but not quite as much as on the skin. No, it's more of an ocean accord. So this is more of briny, and this is more, even though the ocean is briny, it's more of a fresh ocean smell with flowers. Very interesting. A floral ocean. That's what I get from this. So it's not, this doesn't morph, as I said before, some of the other Zoologist scents. This one's kind of straight to the point. It's like, this is what it is, and it kind of remains that way. It does get some kick up. Can definitely smell it, but this is going to be your own personal scent bubble, you know, so it's not going to be pissing off anyone. I guess I shouldn't say that. It's not going to be angering anyone. So it's non-offensive, and it's not that crazy of sillage or projection, which makes it kind of safe. It's very safe. It's a nice scent. I have a feeling there may be things that are kind of similar to it, because I don't see the complexity as grand as some of the other ones. And so, though I like it, I don't know if this is one, I don't know. I just don't know if it's necessarily as creative as some of the other ones. I think it's beautiful. I think it's really beautiful, but I think this may be able to be replicated with other brands, but I can't think of any right now because this isn't necessarily a scent profile I would go for. I don't tend to do the oceanic kind of scents. That's just not me at this time. That could change. But that being said, it's really beautiful. It's really clean and beautiful. Even with that brininess, it's still quite lovely. So there's something about it that I'd say is maybe a little bit more mainstream. But on the other hand, I can't quit sniffing it. So there's that. It's very interesting. I like this one. I do like this one. I think it's really beautiful. And once it mellows out, it's very similar on the body chemistry, at least for me, and the clothing. So what we're going to do is we're going to check back in 4 or 5 hours and see where Seahorse is at. Because I'm really curious to see where it goes from here. I don't think it's going to morph much, but I'm curious to see how long it lasts. So here we go. All right, so here we are. It's actually past 5. It's about 5.5 hours. I know, but I was paying attention to what happened with the scent during this time. Long day. So my thoughts. So the scent really started to dissipate around 4 hours. It's very light. It's really light. This one just doesn't have a lot of staying power to it. It's a nice scent. But again, this is one you're going to have to probably reapply every 4 hours if you want to have scent around you in a nice little bubble. So here it's more of an aquatic type scent at this point. I could barely smell it though. I mean, I could tell there's like a floral aquatic scent. Yeah, you could barely, it's just this aquatic note with some kind of floral. You can't even tell if it's neroli. Some people say neroli and other ones are saying neroli. I think I'm wrong. I think it's neroli. So apologies because I was saying it incorrectly before. I always said neroli. Tomatoes, but neroli. So I know the scent decently because I've had it in other perfumes, but it's not one that I have a lot of perfumes with it, but I know what the note is. But it's some kind of floral, so I can't tell exactly what it is mixed with aquatic, if that makes sense. So then on the clothing, I will say it's a lot stronger on the clothing, way stronger. And that just appears to be the way that it is. The skin scents kind of make it, so clothing's usually the way to go. Here it definitely has more of that aquatic scent. It just has a green aquatic scent to it. It does, with perhaps something light and sweet. Yeah, so I think that's the algae note to it, and to create that oceanic kind of smell to it, but it doesn't smell salty so much. No, that's really interesting. So it's a little bit of floral again with that ocean kind of smell to it. Interesting. So it's definitely not bad. It really doesn't morph a lot from when you initially spray it until the end. It pretty much stays, where it is. For me, it didn't really move a lot like some of them do, where they really morph into something good or bad. This one kind of stayed consistent in its whole lifeline, the whole thing. So nothing wrong with that. I could definitely smell it more on the shirt. So this is definitely one of those that if you spray on your clothing, it's going to last a lot longer, especially if you get a good 4 or 5 sprays in. I usually tend to do 2, which may not be enough. That may not be fair. And so the next series I do, maybe I'll do 4 squirts instead of 2. Sometimes I do 3 because they do halves. So I try to keep it consistent, but I really don't want to change it at this point because we're halfway done. But you can definitely smell it on the clothing still, just not on the skin. So I think with 4 mighty squirts of this, you'd be good to go for a while. So it is a nice scent. It is. My thing is, I just don't know if I care for the the earthiness of the algae scent with the floral. I don't know. I can see how people would really like this. I don't know if this is something that maybe is extremely unique. I don't have a lot of perfumes like this, but that doesn't mean it's unique. It just means that's not a profile that I go for. I'm not really big into the aquatic scents. That's just never really been my profile. Could be one day, but right now it's not, so I don't have as much experience with that. But I do find it intriguing. Like, I would find myself, can't smell it here anymore, but during the day kind of, because I did find it interesting. And so part of me is like, but then the other part is there's something really addictive about this scent that makes you wanting to keep sniffing it. So I keep wanting to sniff it. I don't know if this would be on my list of to buys though. I think it's nice, but I don't know if it's something that I'd want to drop $175 on, but that is me. Not because it's bad, it's just not, I don't know if this is a profile that I would use a lot. So if you like that type of scent, then this may be a big thumbs up for you. But if you don't really care for that kind of brininess of the ocean mixed with florals, then this may not be for you. So it just really depends. But just know that this does not morph a lot into anything. It's pretty standard. This is what it is. This is what it stays. And some people may love that because it just takes out the guesswork of where is this going. And there's no surprising notes that I think are going to shock people or make people near you go, Which, you know, some people don't like that because they want that with Zoologist. They want that kind of unexpected. So it just depends. I do think that this is one of the safer ones of Zoologist, and that's not a bad thing. I like a lot of the safer ones, so it's totally fine. But if I had to rate this, so I would give this one, I think, a 6.5. I think it's definitely better than average. It is a beautiful scent profile, but I don't know if it's my scent profile. And the longevity, I want a little bit more, but now that I'm moving and going like this, you can definitely smell it. But it's just, sometimes I'm like, and then other times like, I really like this. So it kind of goes back and forth with me. I'm not really sure. So with that, I think a 6.5 is pretty fair. Maybe even a 6.0. So 6.0 or 6.5. I'll stick with the 6.5 though, because I do think it is a nice scent. And I did keep sniffing. And then sometimes I'm like, I'm unsure. But then I'm like, So there you go. Yeah. But it's a nice little scent. And I love the coloring. I think the coloring is really, really lovely. So there you go. So we are getting towards the end on this. I mean, I think we're way past the halfway point. I think so. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure, but we're getting there. And yeah, so let's keep rolling with Zoologist. And until next time, have a fabulous day, my friends. Bye.